You know, because I was on your podcast talking about my little PSA to men where people say I was trashing men. There's a big difference. Andrew Tate actually trashes women. I don't trash men. I trash men that I think are soft, that I think are pathetic, that I think are little boys. And I think that there is an epidemic. I will call it a pandemic. The real pandemic is soft men in this country. And I know that you agree with me in a lot of ways, but I'll tell you this. There are so many women out there who are successful who can't find anybody out there because the successful men want the 25-year-olds who just want to be on Instagram and post their purses and their yachts and this and that. So I think we have a scarcity of real men, and I don't know how we change that.
We start spanking kids again. We start holding people accountable. We start letting people lose. We start like taking away the first place trophies from everybody on the team. You know, we go back to the old traditional values where you know, you raised a man.
I don't even know if that would solve it, though, at this point.
It would if everyone did it.
Society has gotten so entitled, and everybody is such a victim. And all, you know, it's when they say the meek will inherit the earth, the meek are inheriting the earth, but not in the way that it's biblical, in the way that we'd like to see it. It's not the underdog rising up.
Okay, so my question is, do you think that men are weaker in 2022?
100%. Yes.
In what way, though?
I think there's something still playing, Blessing. Oh, there it's off. Okay.
Absolutely.
From what I think, I'm going to compare the men I see now to what my dad was. Now, my dad took it overboard. He was over like masculine, over misogynist, if that's the word. Whereas now, I'll talk about the physical side, but this is not the important side. I'm just saying, like, now I'm a dancer. I've been a dancer for a few years. Now I see dancers putting on like makeup and just nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's a feminine trait, right? So it also comes into like the personality side, where the men I see now are not as tough as probably my dad was. He was proper like, I run the house, I don't cook, the woman cooks. This is my role, this is the woman's role. Whereas now it's all very mixed.
So I'm just curious, why is that misogynist? You said misogynistic.
Why is what misogynistic?
Like your dad, like why do you use that word?
Because he never cooked a meal in his house, not when he was with my mum or with my stepmom. He would say that certain things are for her to do and not for him to do. Anything that was to do with like the cars and fixing or DIY, he would do it.
That's not misogyny.
That sounds perfect.
That's just roles.
That sounds perfect.
That's just
Yeah,
roles.
like if I just gotta cook. He's fixing everything.
Yeah, he would do all the hard labor stuff, whereas she would do like all the
And
That sounds
soft
good
stuff.
for women.
and I would think that is where exactly I think men are not men anymore. They don't do.
They don't do that. They
ask
don't do that
people,
anymore.
They would look at me and tell me, "What do you bring to the table?" Ask them, "Can you fix anything? Like, do you know how to fix anything? Can you fix a toilet? Can you fix a car? Can you change a tire? Do you know how to do that?" Most men don't know how to do that.
I like those traits.
Some men, I like those traits.
I like those traits still. I like sticking to part of it.
And I feel like you can still be a feminist and you can still be a feminist and have traditional roles.
Yeah,
and have a home.
Yeah,
and
but
raise a
the
home.
problem is like you guys aren't young virgins, so that's like demanding traditional outcomes when you're not traditional women. Like if you were a traditional woman, you'd be a young virgin.
Like
I don't understand.
virgin.
I don't understand.
Yeah, like okay, so you're describing things. You're saying to the men like you're not traditional men, and I agree, but we're not traditional women. We're not 21-year-old virgins.
Now, what you
They value purity and youth. The average age of first marriage in the UK is 31. That's not pure or youthful. How many bodies you got by 31?
Oh, okay, loads.
Well, yeah,
That's what I mean.
I'm
If you
a
look at
child
your
of
mum, if
God.
you look at your mum and dad,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
100%. It won't be like that.
but if you look at your mum and dad, how many partners did they have before they just got together?
I don't think
and
they'll
we're
ever
not.
tell me.
And as
Exactly. But I don't think that.
and we're
men
we're
are
overweight
getting-
too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I don't think men
By
are,
and
men are
large.
getting weak. I don't think men are getting weaker. I just think that society wants them. Society wants us to believe it, and because nowadays everything's too instant. Like you were saying about, oh, men fix the car, men do this, men do that. Nowadays, your car breaks down, they make a phone call, it gets fixed.
Yeah. I mean, we as women, we can do that. You know, there are some women like, I can fix my car. I can put a light bulb up. I can put a table from
I've got a
IKEA
certificate
together.
in car maintenance, so but I'm not doing it. I do the pink jobs
Yeah.
and he does.
But
the
do you
blue
know what I
jobs.
say? I still like. Obviously, we are not going to be virgins at this age. Of course not.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that my partner, when something breaks in the house, I love seeing him take out his tools and doing that.
Yeah.
And then, oh baby, let me make you a sandwich while you do that. I like that. I still like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to be. I'm not the 30-year-old virgin. Hell no. But you know.
No, and I agree with you. Like I think it's attractive, but it's just like we're asking for traditional outcomes, but we're not traditional women.
Oh no, not at all. We're not. No, no.
Also, I'd
We're
like
not.
to point out like the fact that I think Pearl pointed out as well that you used the word misogyny, which is a negative word, and I think what you explained was your dad just having roles in the house and relationship, and I think that's a pertinent thing to notice that misogyny is like a disdain for women. And
Yeah.
Don't forget, there's one of those key words. The one those new words that they use.
The
I'm writing them
programming.
down. I've
The
been writing them
programming,
down.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking, well, hang on a minute. All these words keep on coming out, and
Gaslighting,
everybody's
abuse,
using it.
misogyny,
Yeah.
say something,
patriarchy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? I'm gonna throw a cataract. Is it a cataract or whatever it is they're gonna throw at you? Oh, fuck.
I
So
heard
that-
No, I
Do
agree.
you know what I mean?
I agree when you say the word misogyny is not good. But the reason why I say it is because he went overboard. Like one time we were in a restaurant. I went to Colombia back on holiday, and he was like, "Oh, let's go have a meal in a restaurant." And we were at the restaurant, and the way he was treating the waiters, like, "Bring me this. Why are you not bringing me this?" And I was like, because to him he was the alpha male wherever he was or wherever he went, and because he had businesses and good status or whatever, he carried himself like that, and that's why I say he was so misogynistic that I don't agree with it. I don't like it.
misogyny.
You might
I
think
just
that,
couldn't
but
That's still not
he
misogyny.
might just think to himself, "Do you know what? I'm paying for a service, and I want the service right."
Exactly, yeah,
Guys-
but he did it in the wrong way. He
Guys-
wasn't.
I mean, he
wasn't
could be rude. But
Yeah,
like,
rude
what
is
is
one word.
misogynistic to you?
Okay, my understanding is some masculine in its
Overbearing masculine.
No,
overbearing.
that's what she actually thinks, though. Like, I think people, modern feminists, that's what they actually think. They think misogyny is just being a man. It's masculinity. That they think that's the problem. But it's a disdain for women. So misogyny is kind of like judging someone purely based on their gender in kind of an oppressive way. I think like saying things like you can't.
It's
do
the
this.
hatred of women.
Yeah, but the action of misogyny is kind of like you can't have this job because you're a woman.
Yeah.
You know, X, Y, Z. That's how it it shows itself. It's not being rude to a waiter or saying, "My wife, she cooks, I pay for the bills." That's not misogyny. That's just being a man who believes in roles. Maybe overbearing at times, but
Do you know
it's
what
not
I was just
misogyny.
thinking? Her dad sounds like a older version of Andrew Tate.
Yeah, 100%.
That's,
Do you know what I mean? There's
every
nothing wrong with
dad,
that's what I'm trying
though. That's
to
like
say.
everyone's dad.
But it's not misogyny, is it? He's
it's
just an alpha male.
He didn't have a big mouth like Tate does, but he was very in his actions very. That's the woman's role, and this is the man's role, and there ain't no in between. And
That's fair enough. You have a right to define roles in your relationship. It's consensual, right? If I say you have to do this and I do this, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I
But you know
guess.
something, right? Even though she looks in it as if it's something negative, it worked for her parents.
And
It worked for them.
notice they like aspects of it. So no one complains
they
that
got
like,
divorced.
my dad was paying too much of the bills and taking care of too much stuff and really kind of protect us too much. It's only like random small things, then it's like misogyny.
And you know, the thing is, the older they get, the more they realize, you know what? I want to be like my parents. They didn't have it so bad. Because the older you get, you're going to realize that all of these roles that they had,
It works.
it works. And everybody's going towards traditional, and they're looking at their parents and thinking, nah, they were too traditional. But when you think about it, look at the longevity of your parents' relationship compared to the longevity of the relationships now where people decide they want to mix modern with traditional, which don't work.
It never
Auntie,
works. Yeah.
Auntie, would you describe yourself as a modern woman?
No.
How would you describe yourself? Because you've said you're not traditional. So
I would say I'm a traditionalist.
okay, what does that mean?
That means that I'm not a virgin
Okay.
and I'm having loads of sex. And I still know my place. But I would say that if I was a virgin, and I was with the same person and I was married, I'm traditional. I'm not. I'm just an old bird with traditional values.